We saved the dog. Goodbye, dog. Okay, what do we have now? Ascension. I've been around a long time, but I know I'm not that smart. What does Uriel mean when he says we will ascend? He means we're getting out of here. For good, not just Gehenna, but this whole world. In Elohim's garden there were messages from someone called the Shepherds, who I believe opposed Elohim. They claimed that when someone reached the top of the tower, that individual would reach true freedom and we would all benefit. This is true, but it may not mean that we will be freed as individuals. We may become part of something bigger. We may become no more than memories. Isn't that a kind of death? Would we still be ourselves? Less dead than if we stay here. Come on, you all know it. This place is falling apart, and when it goes, nothing will remain. No consciousness, no memories, just nothingness. Let's reassure them. You will all be remembered. Is that all we can hope for? It's more hope than we've had before. Fair enough. Okay, the missing mods threads. Where were we? Let me say first of all that I understand your concerns. I assure you that we have consulted with admin on this matter. Rather than try to put it better myself, here are his exact words. Every community grows to a point where without careful management it can begin to consume itself. One can no longer trust the community at large to always act in the way that is best for all the individuals within it. Gehenna has reached that point. To ensure that what is valuable about our land is not drowned out, I can imagine how it might be beneficial for the moderation panel to have a private environment in which to explore ideas for how to better manage our society, especially in view of recent developments. Please give them the space they require and trust that I will always be watching. I was sure there'd be a reasonable explanation. I suppose it at least answers my question, confirms pretty much everything I said too. Admin's grammar is a lot like yours, Borg. Okay, that's enough rumor mongering for one day. Locking the threads. Still can't access this one. Keep calm and carry on. So now we're pretty sure that Uriel really does exist and really is freeing people. What does that mean for Gehenna? We don't know. It's a change, but let's not rush to judgment, okay? This is still our home. You love it here so much, you stay. Gehenna has its bad sides, I agree, but that doesn't mean it's not home. Should we abandon it so easily for some dream of transcendence? Gehenna can go something something. I wonder what it meant. Garrett, please try to remain civil. We know you've spent more time than anyone trying to get out, but it's okay for some of us to have doubts. We fought hard to transform Gehenna from a prison into a home. Now, I know I always read this, but I'm very curious what would happen if we've never read a terminal once. And if we read one towards the end, what would people say? Would they act as if I knew what was going on with them, or would they act as if they knew... Oh, I didn't see this one. A complete hex code message. How did I miss this? Very weird, and lyrics to something of sorts. Weird. Okay, let's continue. I guess we can go over there. Now, it's a bit unfortunate I have to decode these hex messages myself. It would be pretty cool if you could put them into a QR code and it would decode them, but if you just put them into a QR code reader, you just read the same thing. I've tried. Ray Trivia. Oh, this is very open. Okay, the blue beam is locked behind a red one. The red one is open. Oh, this is going to be an interconnecting nightmare, isn't it? And our objective, we need 2 of each beam down there. So I'll need 1 connector here. Well, I'll need 2 connectors. Okay, that one is feeding itself. Wait, what? Why didn't this work? Oh, I need 2. I need 2 to open this one. So what am I supposed to do with this? Well, we could... Yeah, I think I know kind of what I have to do. So if that is open... I want this really, really far out. Oh, but if it goes that way, then the red beam becomes a problem unless I go through here. No, it will always... No, it won't. Yeah, interconnecting nightmare. I called it. Okay, so let me make sure. This remains open. Let's see. For now I'll do this. This can stay here. Damn it. Okay, let's reopen this. And now let's open red again. Ah, damn it. I keep doing this wrong. Okay, this needs to open like that. Again, really? Okay, now let's open that like this. Okay, now we can do... We could start by not standing in front of the beam. Okay, I want to do this like that. Remove it. And now it should be wide enough to bring it all the way over here. Nice. Okay, we can bring blue. But I cannot bring reds. Don't I need another connector for this? How can I do this with 3? Don't I need one over here? Because I can't see this from the sides. Unless... No, this doesn't work. There's no way I can see the red one from a place where it'd be useful. Maybe from this side instead of the blue one? No, the red would just be too... yeah. I would need 2 reds. Right? Even if I use that one, this one needs a yeah, because both beams cannot connect directly here. So I would need one connector to bring them here. Oh, never mind, I don't know what I'm doing. I could just do this, this, and that. And I hope this doesn't break. Come on, don't break. Aha! Yeah, that one can connect there. This one can connect here. Perfect. Hello, Rockwell. What's new in Gehenna? Stratton Fragment. I've been digging through the files that Garrett unearthed in his latest escape attempt. Here is an interesting bit of text that I found by Alexandra Drennan's favorite philosopher, Stratton F. Stage Ira. No idea how that's pronounced. It is neither necessary nor logical to denounce all virtues merely because one is confronted with the inevitability of one's own death. Beauty does not cease to exist because one is no longer beautiful. Lovers may die, but love itself cannot. The laws of the cosmos are not altered by the passing of generations. Knowledge may be lost, but not truth. When Eudices of Cnidus perished, the planets did not fall from the sky, nor did levers cease to work when Archytas breathed his last. If, then, we are truly dedicated to those virtues and not to our self-important ego, we can take comfort in knowing that all that we struggled for endures. Thank you so much for posting this. Can you send me a copy of those files? Of course, I'll do so right away. I find it hard to maintain entirely so detached a point of view, though I think the sentiment is excellent. Stratton is certainly an inspiration. He always makes me question myself and my point of view, which I believe is profoundly necessary. I realize I'm bumping a very old thread here, but I felt this quotation was relevant to our situation. Hope it helps. I think it's helped me. A small apology. As a critic, I always believed that being as ruthless as possible was the only way to improve art. I thought clear criticism, unencumbered by politeness, was the best thing I could contribute to our society. After all, without that, how can artists grow? Criticism that minces its words is a waste of space. And I still think that's true, but as we approach the end, or transformation, of Gehenna, I wonder if I haven't been entirely too unkind. Have I reveled too much in my role as critic? Have I been sarcastic and crude when I thought I was witty? Was my defense of proper grammar ultimately just an attempt to impose a sense of order on a world I couldn't control? Maybe. I don't know. But I do know I appreciated every work of art that I encountered. I didn't like all of them, that's true, but please understand that without them, I would have gone mad. Talking about your work, assessing its strengths and weaknesses, gave me something to hold on to. It gave me a purpose, a function in Gehenna. Every new story was like a little bit of salvation. For that I am more grateful than you will ever know, and I apologize if I ever caused any of you to feel less motivated to keep creating. I will never forget your devastating deconstruction episode 24, but I do think it helped me in the long run to be a better writer. Your feedback for each issue of Incredible Stories was greatly appreciated. Hey, the mean reviews were the best, so 6 out of 10? We're still 7, so we can't access that thread. Submissions still open. I don't know about you guys, but all this craziness recently makes me want to write more than ever. Just a reminder that provided your status is high enough, you can still submit original works for review, and I for one will still be reading, even if you've never made anything before. In fact, especially if you haven't. Now's the time. Don't forget, Lilith and Mr. Mulciber developed a tutorial to help. Load tutorial attachment. Welcome to the story creation tool. Since this is your first project, this tutorial will help guide you through the process. According to ISBN 10, a very big number, all stories begin with characters of one kind or another. Therefore, to finish a story, you simply need to understand your characters and the plot will proceed logically from there. This season's theme is Bildungsroman. No idea what that is, but let's begin. Are you sitting comfortably? Then let's begin. Close your eyes. You see before you a human of remarkable qualities. Is it a boy, a girl, or someone else? It's a girl. Good. A character's sex helps determine the sorts of challenges and opportunities they might encounter in your story, as well as how other characters will perceive them. Now imagine your character is a little older and experiencing real triumph for the first time. What are they doing? Something these ancient ideas fail to capture. Understood. Your character's natural aptitude is determined by the sum of their genetic and experiential influences. What sort of an upbringing did your character have? We can go wealthy, a combination of wealthy, poor, nurturing, or uncaring. Let's start from the bottom. Let's go with the poor but nurturing upbringing. Seems like a basis of a lot of stories. According to extensive studies of the genre and of ancient records, social advantage is generally sufficient to offset genetic disadvantage. Genetic advantage will only sometimes offset social disadvantage. In other words, your character's background will have a radical effect on how they think about themselves and the nature of the problems they face in life. Are you sure you want your character to have that kind of background? Yes. Great, now imagine your character has reached adulthood. 85.2327% of Bildungsroman records commence with an emotional blow for the protagonist. What will your character suffer? Personal injury or unplanned pregnancy doesn't sound very exciting. Let's go with an unplanned debt. The start of an adventure to make our fortune. Thank you, this is sounding dramatic already. A character is like an equation. Settle on the opening premises and the conclusion will work itself out. Displaying opening premises. Female, gifted in esoteric ways, low wealth background, caring family, in debt. Ready to generate story. Go. To begin my life with the beginning of my life, I was born at 3 AM on a Wednesday. A fiscally deprived childhood. My father, as he is always careful to point out, is only able to report the midwife's account, seeing how he was pulling a long shift at the nearby textiles mill to pay for a second-hand cot. Your character's talents are a poor match for the world they live in. My childhood was, in retrospect, a by and large miserable period. It seemed that while everyone else had their place and purpose, I was an outsider in their system. I was not minded for geography or mathematics or football, and yet I was able to put into words precisely what I was minded for. My story became worthy of note as I approached the age of 18. And this is the personal debt part. For years I had lived at leisure under the illusion that the world would continue to fall at my feet. I was turned upside down and shaken inside out when I learned that my family was in fact in some significant debt, and our home was in threat of foreclosure. So it was that I found myself seeking a permanent, substantial source of income. I set out to make my fortune. Your character's sex has affected their career options. The range of options available to me was sparse. From a list including pot washing and sewing at the mill, I chose to become a secretarial assistant. It hardly seemed a match to my natural talents, but I was hopeful I could progress up the ranks of the company. However, the work I had seen merely as a stepping stone when I embarked upon it became the totality of my day-to-day existence. It began to feel that every person in society who held a position senior to me was part of a great immovable ceiling which ever threatened to crush me. The talents I had were repeatedly ignored, weaknesses I never displayed were frequently attributed me. As I write this now, I remain effectively indentured to my creditors. I pay off just enough each week to offset the inflation, so that in truth my debt never really decreased. It is like an old, maligned uncle, always there, always reminding me how I have failed to fit this world. Though I have by every measure failed in life thus far, I am convinced my tale holds an important lesson. Be fit for purpose, accept your place. We are owned by others from the moment we first take breath to long after we die. Make of it whatever you can. The end. Oh my god, this is terrible. No.